Hi everyone. So this will be just a short video to go through graphing circles that are in standard form. So what I have written down so far is what the standard form of a circle looks like. So you'll kind of notice this is different than what you've seen so far. This week we're starting to also look at some quadratics. And you notice quadratics have a square, but the difference between this and quadratics is both the x and the y term both have a square for a circle. Okay, so this is actually not, a full circle is not a function, so I couldn't graph this on the calculator the way it is. I'd be able to kind of fool the calculator and do the top half in y1 and the bottom half in y2, but it can't graph the entire thing. Okay, so what you see here in bright pink, that's our standard form of a circle. Okay, so over the course of this course, you're going to see that many standard forms look like this, and if we can kind of understand how these shift right and left and up and down, it works for many types of functions. So in general, when I have something that looks like this, we kind of call this completed the square form. This minus h and this minus k, the h over here affects the graph. This moves it and it shifts my circle left and right, and we'll talk about which direction in a second. Okay, and my k, that's with the y, so this makes sense. The h is with the x, so that goes left and right because that would go back and forth horizontally. And y we think of vertically, and this is going to shift my graph up and down, depending on the sign. Okay, so let's go through. Now, if we have a minus h, this is probably a completely opposite of intuitively what you would think would happen. So the minus h, if I have a minus h, that's going to make my graph go to the right, h units. Okay, if I have a plus h, this is going to make it go left, h units. So it's probably opposite of what you would guess. You'd probably think a minus would go kind of to the negative side. But a minus h, that's standard form, that makes my graph go to the right, and a plus h makes it go to the left. Okay, so likewise, the same kind of thing with my, that k that's in with the y there. If I have a minus k, it is going to go, that means it's going to go up, that's supposed to say up, k units. Okay, and if I have a plus k, so probably opposite what I would think, this is going to make it go down k units. Okay, and then this right here, my r squared, so my r is my radius, so that number is going to be the square of my radius. Okay, so this is all we really need. If it's in standard form, it's so easy to graph. Getting into standard form, sometimes that's the trickier part. Okay, but for all the ones that you're graphing in here, they're going to be in standard form. You will also learn this week about putting a quadratic into completed the square form, into vertex form. Okay, so let's try to, okay, so now I have, it's in standard form. It's already in our, x plus, this has got a plus 3 squared, plus y minus 1 squared equals 9. So right here, I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to say at the end that I know my r is 3. My radius is 3, because that's the square of it. Okay, so that's an easy one to graph. They're not as easy to graph if that's not a perfect square. All right, so this right here, this x plus 3, that means my circle will shift. Okay, opposite of what I'd probably guess. So this is going to make it go left 3 units. Okay, because of that. And now, because of this, it's going to shift my graph also up 1 unit. Okay, so that's really going to give me my center. So far my center, think about, we move the center left 3, so my center is now negative 3, and up 1. Okay, so there's my center, so that's where I'm going to start. So negative 3, negative 3, 1 is where I'm going to put my first point. Ignore those little sliding marks I had there. Excuse me. And then I'm going to just move 3 units all around. This is much better on graph paper, but okay, so let me just show you what I'm doing. I'm going 1, 2, 3. So there's 1 point. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'll put this together in a second. And then 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to draw my circle. So it is much easier on graph paper, and if everything's spaced a little bit, more perfect than I probably have right there. But there's my circle, and I'll just kind of get rid of these things in here that I did, so you can kind of see with the center and the actual circle. Okay, so let's try one more example. Okay, this one I have has both minuses, so that's kind of like the very first in standard form with the 2 minuses in there. So this one, my circle will shift. That's going to make it go right 5 units. And that's going to make it go up 3 units. Okay, that's because of that. And the other one, the 5, is because of this. Okay, and then over here I'm going to look at this. My radius is 2. Okay, so right now I know that my center, it went to the right 5 units, and then it went up 3. So I have my center I'm going to draw first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over to the right, up 3. There's my center. I'll mark that with a C. And then I'm going to go 2 all around. I won't do it as messy as before here. So I'm going to go 2 this way. I'm just going to mark where I have to connect. 2 this way, 2 this way, and then 2 this way. Should put me right there. I'm going to connect. And there we go. So we've got our circle with center 5, 3, and then with a radius of 2. Okay, so hopefully these help you a little bit with graphing these circles for this week.